Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about the official trailer that came out for Ray Donovan, the movie. If you haven't seen it already, I'll include a link to it in the description down below. The trailer itself is actually fascinating because I wasn't expecting the prequel elements to it. Obviously, it's an epilogue to the series while also being a prequel because we're getting a lot of stuff of a younger Mickey. But it's meant to, in the grand scheme of things, draw a parallel between Mickey and Ray. And just like how the two sides of the same coin, no matter how much Ray would ever want to deny it, he's a lot more like his father in many different regards. I mean, the whole series is predicated on the fact that he's just like Mickey in both good ways, in some good ways, and some bad ways. Because despite everything, Mickey does have his good sides, but they completely get outweighed by the bad. And now after everything that's going down, Ray's just like, I gotta put him down. I have to put him down. But it's like the argument could be made, eventually your children might get the idea that they might need to put you down, because it's just, once again, it's just like you've been heading down that road just like your dad. And once again, I think that's the parallel they're going to show, just understanding how Mickey became who he became, like all that he went through. Because I think we touched on a younger Mickey in the past before, but never to the extent I think we're going to get to this point. Is we've never really dived into it like this. And I think like Ray's all about it, and it's hard to say where the rest of the kids fall. Like, I don't know how Terry's going to feel about it. Not sure how Bunchy or Daryl's going to feel about it. No Abby here to kind of talk Ray off the edge. Obviously, like, you know, it's been a while since they lost Abby, but I think Abby would act as that conscience to kind of pull him back. But Bridget's the one kind of playing that role, which I'm like, I think it's interesting that she's advocating for him, considering it's like he did get Smitty killed, R.I.P. Smitty. But it's like, I mean, that's always the thing of like Mickey drags people into his situation, his schemes, his scams, and typically people get screwed over, but Smitty was the first one to die because Daryl and Bunchy have, you know, walked away with some scars and messed up situations because of their dad, but Smitty got the super rough end of it all, and now they're kind of leaving their dad to his situation. Because like I do have to rewatch season 7 because I've not seen it since it originally got canceled, like when it was originally airing. But I want to say, like, the whole thing is he's got his access to those bearer bonds, and he's planning on trying to use them. Like, he's trying to get as much money to disappear because he knows Ray's coming after him. He knows like no one's going to help him. So because this movie it's about concluding that, like I said, this circle of just kind of, you know, like, you know, can the son kill the father in this regard? Because he's always threatened to kill his dad, but they've always had their ups and downs. There have been moments throughout the series, despite everything, that they've bonded and grown together. I mean, hell, they did a lot of disposing of bodies last season, you know, and that's what makes the Smitty thing so heartbreaking too, because he was part of the family. Him and Bridget were making up and stuff like that. But because I remember certain aspects of last season. I know, oh god, I'm blanking on the other family's name, but the family that's had beef with the Donovan family, Ray and the daughter in that family, I think the brother got killed as well as the dad, because Ray found out what that father did to his sister, like why his sister Bridget killed herself. So, because a lot of that was kind of dived into last episode too, like present day. And so, like, it's almost befitting to kind of continue that a little bit with the whole Ray and Mickey situation of kind of going, like, showing like a younger Mickey, just like we kind of got time with the younger like version of the kids last season. So it's almost befitting to kind of get that in this sort of like epilogue final chapter of sorts, you know? Like I said, I don't remember where everyone's story was at the end of last season. If I remember correctly, I think Bunchy was still dealing with the whole him and Teresa situation, especially when it came to his child. Things were still complicated on that front. Terry was still dealing with like the aftermath of him being with that cult for a bit. You know, let's not forget about that with like Liberty and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't remember the ins and outs of how all of that played out. I can't remember if that was still post his relationship ending with the cop he was dating, because like she found out he had cheated. I don't remember if that was season 6 or that was season 7. I don't remember. And obviously, Ray has been in therapy for a little while, and we see at the end he's talking to his therapist about something that he did, and it's like, oh, I let the wolf in. He kind of gave into his darker natures, the part of him that is more his father than it. You know, once again, That's all. I mean, that side of Ray, his darker side, has always been a constant struggle. And the question is he going to give into it? Will he kill Mickey? Will he not? Because if he does kill Mickey, it means giving into that side of his father that made him forget how to forgive people, you know. And that's always been the hardest thing for, I mean, especially when it's more often than not when it comes to the forgiveness angle. Ray's always pulled the trigger on that. Nah, I'm gonna kill you. Like, it's hard to like forgive considering his situation, the priest that, you know, that molested him and Bunchy. So like, we saw how that ended. Like, Ray's not the forgiving type sometimes, but it's like, if he does this, he'll never forgive himself. Once again, I'm curious to see what the other, like, Terry, Bunchy, and Daryl's perspective is on this situation. Do they co-sign Ray's decision? Who's trying to stop him? Okay, once again, Bunchy and Daryl are been in a lane of like Ray, where it's just like, oh, they've been screwed over by their father one too many times. Terry has too, but Terry's just always kind of stayed away from Mickey, except for the stuff like when they were burying bodies last season to no, that was season 6. That wasn't season 7, when they were burying the bodies and stuff like that. Like Sandy was helping them cut up the bodies and stuff like that. That was season 6. So I'm just really curious to see, like, you know, not just wrapping up Ray's story, but everyone else's story. I mean, I'm confident they're going to be able to do this in the movie. Because when you look at where season 7 ended, to my recollection, I'm like, you can definitely see that being a situation where you don't need, they wouldn't even have needed a full season. They probably would have gotten away with probably like half a season just to wrap everything up. Because it just needs to be, like I said, a full-blown epilogue. So I feel like, I'm assuming it's going to be like a 2-hour-long movie. Maybe it's actually going to be shorter. Maybe it's actually going to be longer. I mean, if it's longer, cool. You know, I'm totally fine with that. But also, because I haven't been keeping up with it, I'm totally surprised by like, oh, cool, it's super coming out in January. So, like, that's like right around the corner. So, like, yay me getting surprised by this news, because apparently the trailer dropped 5 days ago, but I'm only just finding out about it today. It's November 27th at the time of recording this. Maybe if I have the time to edit this down and stuff, maybe this will go up Monday, but still, you know, it's like, yeah, I'm only just finding out about this, so that's crazy. Like I said, I'm not remembering everything. I'm just remembering bits and pieces of what I brought up about, you know, season 7. I definitely have to refresh my memory before the movie comes out, obviously, but I've got time, so. But I'm excited to know that Ray Donovan has a conclusive ending. I'm excited to see how this plays out, kind of getting to see Mickey's story play out like this while we're paralleling, you know, things with Ray present day. I wonder, are they going to do the thing of like Ray and is going to be the same age as Mickey, as the Mickey we see? Like, I'm curious, like, how far back they're going to go, like full-blown childhood or just him about the same age as Ray right now. I'm curious to see how they handle that. But obviously, these are just my thoughts. I love to get to know yours in the comments down below. What are some things you want to see? What are some things you expect to see? Let me know. But really, that's all I want to talk about. Until the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.